Everybody, I'm Go Via Go Home. I want to welcome you back to another unboxing build for the kits. It's part of the series here, and we're still doing the paper mill, but today we've got a twofer for you because, I mean, technically I'm not going to be building one of these as it shows on the box, but more as a background building, but I'm going to be combining them. So what we're going to do, we're going to unbox one at a time here. I'm going to show you what it comes with. We'll start with the craft mill, and then we'll do the recovery boiler house. And there's a couple of extras included here, so we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, so we've already opened it, and because I've been busy working from home, I was able to take and shave off all the extra bits here and basically get all the parts ready. There's just some odds and ends here, like the ladders and the ladder covers that I haven't really done anything with yet, just because I'm gonna paint them most likely first before I attach them. But here's something that's interesting. So this is supposed to be the, give me a second, the craft mill, and oddly enough, I get the instruction sheet for a brick freight house included in it. I wish I was joking. So they didn't even put in the right instructions, which is kind of odd for Walthers. I mean, if I was really stuck, I could just go to their website, and they have full instructions for each of their kits included on the website. But because this one isn't even on the website anymore because it's discontinued, it might make it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, we got lots of wall pieces here. This one is fairly easy to put together, and because I have built it before, it'll go together quite easily. It's not a very challenging kit. It's fun though. It's fun because there's lots of unique walls. These are the border pieces. More walls. Little fence things, piping, and then I did a bunch of these detail parts already. This is technically, it's two pieces that I had to glue together. You can kind of see the glue line there a little bit, but once it's painted, it'll cover it up. So there's detail parts like that, like this, little roof vents. I actually like these ones. These are really nice here. They're kind of cool. And obviously a whole bunch of roof pieces as well. You'll notice that most of them do have circles on them like this, and this is for the different vents and whatnot. Again, very straightforward stuff. And I usually like to cover my roof pieces here with grip tape, that sticky stuff that's on one side and sandpaper on the other, and then I just cut out those circles, but I'll do that after. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start building this one as it is, or how it's supposed to be. We're going to take a look at the other kit as well here and see what we get inside that. Okay, so same thing with the recovery boiler house here. I've already taken all the plastic sprues out. I've cleaned off all the pieces here. So this kit is technically good to go. Lots of different, walls that it comes with. It did come with the actual correct instruction booklet, which I'm pretty happy about. Not that I need it, because it is really, again, it's a very simple building. It's a very simple structure to do. But like I was saying before, I'm not building it how it shows on the box. I'm going to make this into a background building. So that'll be fun to do. And I've got a whole bunch of pieces that I can use. And then I might even have some extra ones that I can, maybe I'll use, or I'll end up putting it aside. One thing I didn't like was that some of these pieces, like I guess when they get made in the mold, they're still a little warm. And when the box is put onto the side, I guess it was, all the weight was pushing down, and some of these pieces are very warped. I'm not going to be using that piece. I mean, even this one here, I'm sure that like once you put the building on and it's all intact, it won't be as warped as it is. but it is what it is at that point. Like I said, I'm not probably going to be using it. Roof pieces, which I don't even think will get used. More warped pieces, which I wasn't totally thrilled about. Pieces I don't even need that come with the kit for some reason. Obviously there's like vents, doors, and all that. Same stuff that came with the paper mill. Kind of like these here, these little vents, they came with the paper mill, but they also came with this. So I might even end up putting these on top of the paper mill instead, because more air conditioners for that kit would be cool, I guess. We've got the stacks, the pipe stacks. Those are cool. And then we've also got the windows for this. These are all the windows that go in behind there. There's glass in here. The glass part, it's just plastic. Just, you know, there's a whole bunch of small parts. It does come with a lot of the same parts, just like the paper mill. I mean, you don't even need this for this kit, but it still comes with it. But in the paper mill, I got a wall piece, this wall piece here. This came with the paper mill, and it's the exact same wall piece that came with the recovery boiler, or is this, no. Yeah, the recovery boiler kit. Wow, I forgot already. So I've got two pieces that are the exact same. So I'm gonna mess around a little bit here, and I'm gonna see if I can combine some of these wall sections to create a backdrop building that I can kind of utilize for this section of the layout. That way it's taking up less space and I'm creating something new at the same time. Okay, so this is going to be the setup more or less for the building. It is going to be a backdrop building. I just have to add the sides to each of these sides here, and then basically I'll be able to go from there as far as adding the extra detail parts and painting it. But I have to attach all three of these pieces together just like that, and then I can start adding on to it and see how far out from the backdrop I can actually come with it. Okay, so basically this is what I did here. I glued the three pieces, the front pieces. You can kind of see here, you know, there's one here, it's very narrow. Then the original front, and this is what would have been, I guess, the back side of the building. So I basically connected them together. I used regular glue on the front, like the craft glue that would weld them together. And I kind of reinforced it on the back with some hot glue, just because you won't even see it anyways. So it's a little bit stronger in that sense. This building, I think it was this kit here. This piece in general had a bit of a curve to it, so I have to kind of straighten that out somehow. But then I took the extra pieces, as you can see on this side here, and I cut out a 2-inch piece that would be fitting right along the side here and on this side here. Now, it doesn't stand up yet by itself just because it's a little top heavy, I'm guessing. So I still have to reinforce that as well. Also, before I added on the side pieces, I took my foam core board, which I'm going to show you here. It's a big piece of foam core, and I traced out, I don't even think you can see it really, kinda. I traced it out, the whole thing, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it out, and it's gonna go in behind. So it's gonna be a black backing, because when I add lights and stuff in here, I have to be able to do all the lights inside, and then I want to enclose it. So I'm going to enclose the back end of it with this, because I don't have a piece of plastic that big that I can, you know, close it up with. Plus it's black, so it'll kind of blend in there, and it gives me a black interior as well, so it'll look like the lights are off. Or if I add lighting inside, it'll just be a black background, nothing really to kind of show. It'll just, the building will just light up in general. So that's fun. I'm really excited to get this going here. I'm still kind of working on the track layout for this section of the layout, but it's basically, it's gonna come in through there, through the little portal, and it's gonna go in front here, and it'll continue down that way. And then I'm gonna have, it's gonna come off a switch here, And I'm gonna have 2 sides there and then one for the loading bay here. And then this is gonna be the craft mill. And in between we've got the tanks there as well. So it's gonna kind of go in, and when this building is up, you're not even gonna see that portal there. But I'm gonna also put like a mound in here, put some trees to kind of cover it in even more so that you won't see it at all. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And it'll just kind of disappear into the background. And then all the trains up here will obviously come up to the front so that there's no reaching involved, which is good. And then obviously on the other side here, it's going to be parking lot because the trucks are going to have to come and take stuff away. And then those will just go into a step in there. But yeah, getting there. And I got to paint this thing as well. But first off, I got to do the inside here and the inside here so that I can put a flat piece, flat piece, flat piece, flat piece, and flat piece to kind of seal it all in. And then I'll be able to paint it. And we'll come back and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so getting lots done here. Basically, I completed the actual build by getting all the walls cut and glued. As you can see, they're all in there. All that's left to actually make would be the floor or the roof, sorry, for each part, which no problem. But I want to start on the painting. So as you can see, I did the gray along here. That was the second color I did. I turned, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Oh God, it's so flimsy. I painted the entire inside black so that no lights kind of shines through if I do end up lighting anything on the inside. I doubt it, but it's good to keep that solid. So next I'm going to tape off this entire bottom now that the concrete bottom is done. And then I'm going to do the main color for the building. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the traditional blue corrugated metal color that you see literally everywhere. I even used it on this side here on the roof of the roof of the train station there, and also on the covers, the awnings there for the actual train station. So I'm going to continue it through because I really like that color, and I'm going to end up doing this whole building that color because when you see these power stations, in most cases they are like blue like that. I've seen on the Google images and whatever of these power plants and whatnot. So if this is a large power station that needs to be blue, then that's the color that I'm going to do it, and then I'll have to weather it and stuff later, but that's a project for another day. But until then, we're gonna just color this blue, and we'll come back and we'll take a look at basically the finished painted product. All right, here we go. Okay, so just before I go ahead and paint this, obviously you can see I taped off the bottom there, which is supposed to be the concrete color. I just wanted to show you because I get a lot of questions about what paint I use and how I paint normally. These are the 3 types of paint, if you take away this one for a minute because it's just a smaller bottle of that. These are the 3 types of paint that I normally use. Spray paint, obviously, Home Depot. They've got a plethora of colors, if you will. I always do flat or matte finish, which is basically no shine, right? So unless I'm doing something that requires it to be shiny, let's say a car, then I would definitely use something shiny. But in most cases, just a matte finish, matte white, matte black. It also works as a primer if you're doing paint over it, which in this case I don't really need to prime this. I just painted the inside of it black. This is the blue that I chose to do for the actual building, and this is also the color that I used for the roof of the train station and the little canopy things for the train station as well, for the platforms. Tamiya or Tamiya, I don't know how you pronounce that, but This is another spray. It's smaller, more expensive, right? Like this here is a little bit more pricey than one of these cans, and you get way less. But you get these from the hobby stores. I use the light gray for all my concrete stuff that needs to be this kind of gray, like a newer gray, where I would use, there's a spray that I use for the more yellowy tinge, like the older concrete. So yeah, I use a lot of these ones, the specialty colors. I use these on my locomotives as well. You do a lighter spray from far away. And then detail parts. Railings, handrails, posts, you know, just the really small things that you don't need to do like a huge brushstroke. Or actually, I did use the black on my fascia. So I use this exact stuff, and you get it at the dollar store. It's like $1.25 or something. And yeah, it worked out really well for my fascia. So it also works for that. And these also come in a lot of colors, like the browns. I use the brown for my ground. I use the black for the fascia. And then depending on like your safety rails, I do red or yellow. And then in certain parts, my train station, I used green for the metal rails for, you know, safety rails, so people don't fall over the side. Yep. So many different colors, and each has their own use. So that's all I use there. Nothing crazy, right? Even with this here, like I used the red color, and then I used the white spray paint. And then when I mix some of this with water, because it's just acrylic, so you can really water it down, I use that to do the over this, which would highlight the bricks. You can also do a black wash with it as well if you want to do black. But, I mean, again, the sky's the limit here. So these are just a few of the options that you have available to you. Okay, there you go. This one is freshly sprayed. I'm ready to paint all the little window pieces to go into all the little window slots there. And I'm gonna have to do white for the doors and the garage doors there. And then I can just add those in after. So it's all ready to go. I just gotta wait for it to dry, which is gonna take about 3 hours. You don't put a thick coat on, so it really doesn't take long at all. So that's good. So we'll come back when this is dry and we'll set it up and we'll see how she looks.